the past 30 to 40 years in terms of modernization and modern conveniences, what they have brought us. Okay, I remember very vividly in my childhood. I was attending in a small upper primary school in a remote village in Telangana at that time, in Nizamabad district. So I think there is a this is a very small village, and the whole village was full of small just canals and just waterways and very little waterways, and there was such a small waterway in front of our school, where in our intermission we used to just go there and observe the wildlife that is there, the frogs and these water creatures and water animals and even snakes and other few animals flowing in this very clear water that was flowing in the creek, and all the vegetation that was surrounding this creek. Did not fear getting into the water and even drinking that water, which was very mineral rich water, and there was no fear of contamination, no fear of any toxicity, and that water was very clear and very refreshing. And you could see because of all this explosion of the life that was around in and around that creek. So what has happened, with 30, 40 years fast, if we about 50 years fast forward, about 45 years fast forward, what has happened is, these water, we are not able to trust any of the waterways and any of the bodies of water that is supposed to be very rich and beaming with wildlife and rich with minerals and rich with life-giving properties. And now I think that is all is contaminated with any number of toxicants, and those are even the pesticides and insecticides and this PFAS and something called these forever chemicals. So, and also this PFAS phthalates and any number of these runoffs from what we are using on agricultural landscape. And same thing here. And when we see large bodies of water in the U.S. and the rivers, and it is very well known that these rivers are contaminated with PCBs and PFAS and PFOS, and all these phthalates and various chemicals that are a product of industrial revolution, the industrialization, and which has brought us all these conveniences to us. And when we see these conveniences, and that is trickling down to even smaller and small, even everybody, and who is even, it doesn't matter who, somebody is wealthy or not, and somebody is poor or not. And I think these chemicals have found a way to invade everyone's life. So when I mentioned PFAS, these are called forever chemicals. That means these will not, if they get into the body, they will, embed themselves, and it will take forever for your body to eliminate them. And also, if they were to be contaminated, if the soil and the waterways were to be contaminated with it, and that will contaminate the wildlife, and that will contaminate the fish and all the the creatures that dwell in the water, and also creatures that consume that water. So, and also there is a lot of research that was done in the frogs and in the fish that is found in the waterways here. And this PFAS and PCBs and phthalates and all these things are causing gender confusion in frogs and in the fish that dwell among these waterways. So it is very well known fact that most of these contaminants and toxicants, they are endocrine disrupting chemicals, and they cause a lot of confusion in your hypothalamus and in the hormone pathways, and that is precisely why we are experiencing so much of metabolic and endocrine and reproductive dysfunction over the past 3 to 4 decades, and the problem is still growing. According to one recent study, there was I think one scientist has estimated that these plastics, these microplastics and plastics that are making their way into our bodies, and there is an estimation that was made, which is very alarming, that everybody's brains contain around 1 teaspoon of these microplastics in the brains and the blood vessels that supply the brain. And also, according to another study, there was um, this arterial plaque, okay, that is being accumulated in the arteries of the heart and various other parts of the body, in the carotid artery, and the arterial plaques, they were found to have microplastics in them. See, these microplastics and the BP, and also there is something called bisphenol A that is part of that is part of making these plastics, pliable plastics that are ubiquitous in our use everywhere that we see. And most of the food industry uses them, and this PFAS and these PFAS and phthalates and these forever chemicals, they are sprayed on these papers that are put between the sweets and between chapatis and between polis and all the things that we see. These are separated because if they stand next to each other, they stick to each other and they spoil the appearance, and also they ruin the quality of the product. And so what ends up happening is they insert these small papers and wax papers, they call. These wax papers are coated with PFAS, and that is how these chemicals will make their way into our bodies, and they start affecting us. And it is not the sweets and the products. Well, it could be because this if there is a if you use let's say corn syrup and other high fructose corn syrup and glucose syrup and all those things in the sweets. Yeah, sweets themselves can cause a lot of issues. But if we insert, uh, if we find ourselves in a way, the getting exposed to these forever chemicals through these the papers that are inserted into between sweets and in the pizza boxes and in any number of packaged products, then that is that poses another level of this problem. And also, I think canning of food is another technology that has developed over the past 20, 30, 40 years. And canned food is a pretty big industry, because that allows our foods to be packaged where they are abundant, and they that allows them to be transported. And the packaging of them and sterilizing them, the process involves coating of these insides of these tins and cans with these forever chemicals, and heating them up so that they can be sterilized after they are sealed, so that all the bacteria inside would perish and will not cause the degradation of the product. So with each heating and with each another way, these things, there is there is another product which are packaged soups, and these canned soups, and when they are packaged and they are coated with BPA or this PFAS inside the tin, and the product that is dispensed into these tins is very hot, and that heat will leach a lot of this BPA and all these PFAS into the product that we consume, and that product is sealed and heated again, and then shipped off to the retail shelves nearby. So, do you understand the implications of all this? When I say there is no packaged food, okay, and then now you understand why I keep on insisting that the packaged food should be avoided in a healthy lifestyle. Okay, and another huge issue in India is especially these hot curries and from the curry points and from the restaurants. When they're packaged in pliable plastic polyethylene bags. Okay, these bags will leach those plastics into the hot product. There, the sambar and all the rasam and all the curries and everything that is packaged in these plastic containers and plastic bags, that itself will leach a lot of that plastic into the product itself, and that can cause a lot of issues with our endocrine system and with our hormonal imbalances. So now you see the problem with all these, the modern lifestyles, and the kind of rat race that we have put ourselves into, because we are going from from home to work to from work to home, and without any uh, time that we get for resting. Yes, most of these, I think if we get exposed to these things on a daily basis, but if we are active and if our system is functioning properly, and if our detox pathways are working properly, and most of these body can detoxify a lot of these things, and but the problem is these PFAS and the forever chemicals, the body will have to deal with it with those for a long time. So where do we go? How do we deal with this issue? So only way is, the thing. Okay, so now what else does this cause? Getting exposed to these microplastics and PFAS and phthalates and other things. They have alarming health effects. Okay, exposure to these chemicals has been linked to many health problems, and those including increased fat gain, especially the fatty liver that we find in everyone. Nowadays everybody is diagnosed with fatty liver. Now there's endocrinologists and the GI doctors and GI doctor societies are very busy trying to find a name for fatty liver. Previously they called NFALD, non-alcoholic, NAFLD, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and now non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, NASH, and they keep on coming up with newer names, and that is confusing themselves and confusing the general public, but without mentioning what is causing these issues. The cause for all these issues, the root cause for all these issues is these endocrine disrupting chemicals that are coming in terms of in the form of microplastics and our exposure to these forever chemicals. Okay, and these things can cause the decreased level of sex hormones, and I think the infertility levels have skyrocketed in the past few decades, and we are seeing that everywhere, because every couple is experiencing a reproductive dysfunction to one level or the other. And altered glucose regulation, what does that mean? They cause insulin resistance, and by insulin resistance they cause leptin resistance, and insulin resistance in later stages becomes diabetes, and diabetes, type 2 diabetes leads to obesity. Obesity leads to diabetes, and obesity, they lead to heart disease and blood pressure. Okay, and uh, some of these, most of these diseases, that we hear are caused by these the modern lifestyles that we have grown so fond of. So metabolic disruptors. So metabolic disruptors and these metabolic disruptors and endocrine disruptors. And whenever I say and I talk about there's sarcopenia and the bone mineral density loss and or diabetes and insulin resistance and reproductive disorders and brain disorders and neurological symptoms. And these things are everything they cause, the alteration of the these metabolic processes are endocrine systems, and they themselves they trigger the expression of genes that cause that alter the lipid metabolism and leading to increased fat accumulation in various parts of the body, in a fatty liver, fatty tongue, fatty pancreas, and fatty intestines, and the accumulation of the visceral fat. And all these things contribute to the metabolic dysfunction and endocrine dysfunction, and that all these things will contribute. This metabolic dysfunction and endocrine dysfunction will contribute to all the diseases and dysfunctions and the problems that we see in the modern times. And most of these diseases and most of these dysfunctions are being felt and being experienced by our loved ones and our children. And now, we are at a point where, now we're at a point where this symptomatic approach to treatment, one pill for one ill, or there is a pill for every ill, is that paradigm will not work and will not. We are at a point that that philosophy, that approach would not yield any result at all, and that is that is where humanity stands at this point. So where do we go from here? See, knowing that all this is happening around us, I think the person who is wise will try to simplify his life, his or her life, to a point where we are eliminating, we can eliminate. No, there will be. I think if somebody is wise, okay, they will alter their lifestyle or simplify their lifestyle to a point where we are uh, eliminating most of these modern influences, and that will shield us from the exposure to these harsh chemicals that are disrupting our endocrine system and our metabolic system. So the PFAS in foods, where do we find these things? These PFAS are known as per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Okay, they have been found in a lot of foods. Okay, that are including vegetables, meat, and seafood, and packaged foods. Okay, and the seafood that is being exported from various parts of the world that can contain these the PFAS, because these PFAS serve as you know preservatives also, and also these fish sticks and the snacks that are cooked and packaged and frozen, they can have all these PFAS. And the meat, the chicken that is specially farmed in a factory setting, they are injected with PFAS, because PFAS is they are known as they're the preservatives, and there is a problem if we are consuming these meat products that are injected with these products. Even vegetables that are grown in with water and with products that are contaminated with PFAS, they tend to be high in this PFAS and the forever chemicals as well. Okay, and also I don't know how this microwave popcorn is used or is in India, because these popcorn bags, they inside they are coated with PFAS. Okay, so there's and also even in our clothing, these forever chemicals are used, because now we are boasting about the higher quality of these fabrics because they are stain resistant and wrinkle resistant and wrinkle proof and all these things. And as we employ more and more and more technology and fire retardants and in clothing and fire retardants in our furniture, okay, they all contain this PFAS and paints and sealants and the things that we use to beautify our homes. They have PFAS, and non-stick cookware has PFAS, and most of the cleaning substances, cleaning products have PFAS. And so these are all forever chemicals. And in our quest for modernization and modern conveniences, we are destroying our health and our lives because our preference is for a very cushy and very very comfortable lifestyle, and so we can appear the modern and so these are all the things that we cannot be oblivious to, we cannot forget. And no wonder if we are getting exposed to these kinds of chemicals that are endocrine disrupting, and that is causing most of the problems that we are experiencing nowadays. And now, if we go to the hospitals and the doctors, and and don't get me wrong, the doctors are doing everything they can to get you out of the trouble that you are in. But unless we address the root cause and what is causing us, what is ailing us, what is bringing us to this point, if we fail to understand that, it is almost impossible to find a meaningful solution. I think it is, even the cookware, non-stick cookware, I think the usage of non-stick cookware has skyrocketed in India. I think we are better off going back to the proper iron cookware, which is not sprayed with any chemicals at all, and traditional cookware, which is not sprayed with any coatings or those are the things I think we need to simplify our lives to a point where we can isolate ourselves from this PFAS. It is very difficult to isolate from PFAS because in India they are in water, they are in air, they are in all the products, they are everywhere that we see, because these PFAS these chemicals are not regulated in India, and industry uses them at will. So where do we go? So only way, dear ones, is closer we are to God's design, closer we are to the simpler lifestyle, and closer we are to doing ourselves everything. I think the better it is and better likelihood that we can eliminate most of these influences of these nasty chemicals on our lives. So I sincerely hope that this has been helpful to you, and hopefully you know a little more than 20 minutes ago. Okay. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, do not be alone. I think every one of us are in the same boat, and we need to I think find slowly I think get back to God's ways and God's design, so that we can isolate ourselves and we can come away from all these influences that are so destructive and to our health and robust living. Okay? And thank you, and God bless you. Back to you, Sister Revati.
So one question. Hello. One
Yes,
question.
yes, yes.
Non-stick we are using, it's not good for health. I mean, clearly we should
Non-stick,
stop.
usually we need to understand, we need to find out what coating that is. Most of these non-stick coatings have PFAS and Teflon and all these nasty
Yeah,
chemicals.
Teflon.
And
Yeah.
if we use those, and then there is a problem. Okay, those things can leach into the food, and at high temperatures, it is particularly so, and that will start affecting our health negatively.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, what about packaged drinking water?
Yes, that is a problem as well. In India, there is, I think everyone uses this bottled water, and those bottles can leach these microplastics into the water. And Yeah, that is a problem as well. So I think we need to, stop relying on these bottle bottles and bottles of water, but we probably could use the natural filters, and let's say activated charcoal filters, and those are the filters that were available in those candles that we used to call them. Those were filled with activated charcoal, and in fact activated charcoal filters can eliminate most of these forever chemicals and most of the plastics that are in the water. So activated charcoal filters are a better way. And also, if you carry your own steel bottles with activated charcoal filters, I think that will be a better way to carry water along with you instead of bottled water.
Okay. Sir, how about glass bottles? Water
Glass
can we
bottles
carry?
are fine. Glass bottles are also okay. And also because if you are filling your glass bottles outside, I think having a activated charcoal filter for that glass bottle would be of immense help.
Oh, thank you.
Even RO machines are not recommended, sir.
Which ones?
RO machines.
RO machines are okay. RO filters are okay. As long as your water comes into contact with these plastic tubing, just transient nature. As long as the water is not stored in plastic containers, that's okay. You can use RO filters, but you need to use remineralizing filters after the RO filter, so that valuable minerals can be added back to the water.
Okay. Thank you.
There's another question. Is there anything like heavy metal detox can we do?
Heavy metals, same thing. So the cheapest way is an activated charcoal filter. Activated charcoal filter has immense amount of benefits that can most of the heavy metals can also be chelated by the activated charcoal filter. I think that is the I think very economic way to improve the quality of water that we drink.
Okay, doctor. So you were talking about this RO filters, like water purifiers, because most of the purifiers come with a plastic, the storage of water in the plastic containers there, whether it is inside or, in the, so you said, what is the other one to use after it is being filtered?
No, instead of okay, so if it is stored in the plastic filter, I think in a plastic tanks, okay, after the plastic tank, you can use the activated charcoal filter that can eliminate most of the microplastics that are in the if there is any plastic that leached into the water. The activated charcoal filter can take care of that. And after that, and also there is another thing called remineralizing filter. The minerals, the filters will have these mineral stones or mineral substances that are in there, which add back the minerals that are filtered out by RO process. Okay? So you can put activated charcoal filter and remineralizing filter right after the storage. That will improve the water quality as well as eliminate most of the microplastics.
Okay. So can we use cookers for cooking purpose in our daily life? This is another question.
Yes, you can use cookers. Yeah, I don't see any. I think we've been using cookers for the past, several decades. I think cookers predate even most of us. So I don't see anything wrong in using cookers.
Okay. So there's another thing also going, doctor, like, using aluminum cookwares also is not healthy. What is your take on it?
Yes, aluminum can leach into into the foods, because most of the foods that we cook are very complex in nature, and they have a lot of acid in them. So this acid can interact with these metals like aluminum, and the aluminum can leach into the foods that we eat, and that can cause that can cause issues also. But yeah, I think it is better to avoid aluminum cookware.
Okay. So they are asking another question. Nowadays, people say use magnetic technology, wrap magnets around bottles, or sleep on magnetic beds. Such beds are now available in the market. Through private marketing. So any solution?
Well, you know what? I am not much familiar with that technology. I would rather not comment because I I do not know. I'd like to research on that a little bit more. Yes, I think there is there is a benefit for I think using in using magnets around us, but I'm not quite familiar with that technology. So yeah.
Okay. So what
So
about
the people are
microwave?
saying that direct. Carry on, ma'am.
Yeah, please carry on. Carry on, brother, please.
Yeah, I was saying I heard this direct drinking of RO water has caused depression in people. Is it correct?
You know what?
Directly to use
There is a
because of a depletion of minerals.
depletion of minerals. Yeah, it is possible, but the thing is, I think if your food is very well balanced, you can get most of those minerals from your food. And also, if you take, that is the reason why I emphasize taking minerals and mineral supplements like superdine, and adding back minerals in the way of sea salt and pink salt and various other things. So yes, RO water it is possible, but the thing is, we need to weigh the possibility of getting exposed to all these toxins, or replacing the minerals afterwards.
Oh, yeah, we can take a
So that is
step.
the reason why I mentioned remineralizing filter after RO. Because once you filter out everything, all the chemicals, then you can selectively add back all the beneficial minerals into the water by using the remineralizing filter.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. What about microwaving? Is it safe?
Well,
If it is,
yeah, we don't have microwave in our house. I think for the past 35 years, we have avoided using microwaves because the way that microwave heats the food is quite unnatural. And also, microwaves are known to cause the foods to develop. There is something called structural isomerism, structural isomers. The food may look the same, but it may feel the same, but its chemical structure probably could be altered by heating it in a microwave oven. So I think we have, I think for the past, ever since I came to the US, we have not used microwaves. So I would not use it. If you're using it, you be the judge of that.
okay. So regarding the heavy metal detox, what the sister was meaning was, but I mean the heavy metals our body may already have. How can we do the detox? Can lemon water alone help, or is there any other way?
See, the thing is, lemon water helps. Proper hydration helps. Proper activity levels help. Okay, and if you go out and walk quite a bit, and if you're sweating profusely after an activity, that will help. Okay, the sweat can eliminate a lot of these heavy metals, and also going into a sauna can help. In fact, I'm sitting in my infrared sauna where the temperature is about 76 degrees right now, and I'm sweating profusely, and this will help, okay, eliminating all these toxins. So if your metabolism is working properly, your circulation is working properly, yeah, I think your body will eliminate. If your liver is not clogged with fat, and if your liver is working properly, your kidneys are working properly, yes, most of the heavy metals will be your body will be able to eliminate. But thing is, if you're slowly experiencing metabolic disruption, and your metabolism is slowing down, and your detox pathways are slowing down, and your bile is getting thick, and your liver is not functioning the way it is supposed to. There are several pathways in the liver, okay, the phase 1 and phase 2 reactions, which will eliminate most of the toxins, and there are several mechanisms, several biochemical reactions by which liver eliminates these toxins. If your liver is not functioning at its optimum, then your body will start accumulating this toxin. So this heavy metal toxicity, if you're getting exposed to these heavy metals on a daily basis through agricultural products or pesticides or insecticides, or paints that are in your home, then if your exposure exceeds your body's ability to detox itself, then there is a problem. Okay, so you may have to alter your lifestyle, and increase your activity level, and improve your circulation, and do exercises, and get exposed to these activities that will make you sweat profusely. Yeah, those things will help you eliminate these heavy metals.
Sir, last question. I heard that the sweating is very good, as you mentioned, and even some people I heard for dialysis, the sweat does the work of the kidney. Like they sit in a hot water tub for 1 hour morning, 1 hour evening, hot water 40 degrees centigrade. So that's what I heard. I thought just share
Yeah,
that out.
yeah. Not only you heard, that is the truth, and I told you, just I'm sitting in the temperature in here is 76 degrees centigrade.
Ah,
So so from the time I come into the sauna, and by the time I leave, about an hour and a half, I lose about 1.5 liters of sweat. Okay, yes, I think skin is, I think, a much overlooked organ, which can detox, which can help us, in elimination pathways, okay, just like the kidney does. So yes,
yes.
just this infrared blankets and infrared sauna, and these things can help. Yeah.
Then immediately we have to drink water, salt water.
Yes, of course. We have to drink continuously. Yeah, I do replace all this. About just within 1.5 hours, I drink about a liter and a half to 2 liters of salt water and water inside the sauna.
Think so. Thank you, sir, so much. Good.
So, what is the TDS for drinking water?
What's that?
What is the TDS for drinking water?
Well, yeah. See, TDS is there's nothing but it is total dissolved solids. Okay, so total dissolved solids is if you go to mineral rich and extremely pure water sources, and which are mineral rich, you can see TDS levels of about 210, 220, or even higher. But the thing is, those dissolved solids are extremely healthy minerals. But even glyphosate and all the agricultural chemicals and all the pesticides, if they are dissolved into the water, they also show up as TDS. Okay, so TDS itself does not tell us the whole story. TDS means what are those dissolved solids in the water? Okay, if the TDS is 250, we cannot automatically conclude that that water is healthy, because those in the 250 of those total dissolved solids, there could be pharmaceutical products and pharmaceutical metabolites that are runoffs from the sewage system, and also from they could have PFAS also, which are dissolved in them, and which and also glyphosate could be part of that total dissolved solids as well. So that is the reason why we need to completely filter out all these things and then add back the beneficial minerals into that, and that will bring you see, if you have a good RO filter and the total dissolved solids in our the RO water will be 10 or 14 or 15, even 20. Okay, after that, if you add a remineralizing filter, and and put activated charcoal and put remineralizing filter, then dissolved solids could go up to 120, 130. So TDS itself does not tell us the whole story.
Okay, doctor. So any more questions?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think,
Yes. Answer.
go ahead.
Anna,